Amphibia's Season 2 finale, True Colors, was full of many revelations that changes everything we know about the series thus far. But the biggest came with the grand moment we've been waiting for since the very first episode, back when Anne's eyes flash blue while protecting Sprig. After Andrias tries to make an example out of the young planter by dropping him to his demise, Anne reaches a breaking point. Overwhelmed with emotion, she's able to draw out the power of the blue Calamity gem, transforming into what we now know as Super Anne. Though, my own fan term for this state remains Calamity Blue Anne because I'm a nerdy, filthy weeb. Anne's display of power here completely blew any expectations I had for this transformation out of the water. I definitely wasn't expecting her to go all out Super Saiyan Blue with lotus-shaped aura and frog hopping. I can only imagine that we'll see this form evolve alongside Anne in Season 3, as she gets a better grip and figures out exactly what this form can do. With that being said, although Anne's transformation came out of the left field, it has also set a precedent of what to expect with Sasha and Marcy's power going forward. Serving as the final season of the series, I have no doubts that Season 3 will have Sasha and Marcy fulfill their roles in the ancient Amphibia prophecy to stop Andrias once and for all, donning their own transformations to boot. But what will the journey to those transformations look like? How could those forms differ from Anne's? That's what we're here to talk about today. And to stay in the loop of all things Amphibia, please be sure to subscribe to the Roundtable with notifications on so you never miss a video, alongside giving us a follow over on Twitter and Instagram at RoundtableVids and me at OstricVox.
I'm not gonna fail! Not while Anne and Marcy are getting by without me!
Let's start with the girl who's still stranded on Amphibia, but isn't currently in a comatose state after her friends learned they were traded to an isekai, Sasha. Sasha has a lot going on, and if the Season 3 theme song is anything to go off of, she will be vital in uniting frogs and toads together to ban against Andrias in the ultimate rebellion. However, I'm sure she'll also still have plenty of questions around Anne's blazing blue fury. We know Sasha is all about strength, so even in the midst of this apocalyptic event unfolding, she'll probably still have a moment of envy towards Anne, thinking,
"Hey, I want to have my anime moment too."
Of course, this would require Sasha tethering herself back to the pink gem, after being severed from and recharging the gem in the third temple. In general, for the sake of the prophecy that Andrias manipulated them into undoing, Sasha and Marcy gotta link up with the Chaos Emeralds once more. This is where I think Sasha's journey in Season 3 will truly begin, and there's one person in Amphibia she'll have to meet in order to pull it off: Valeriana. Keep in mind, Sasha is the only one of the Earth trio who has yet to encounter Valeriana, which now feels beyond intentional from a narrative sense, especially now that the girls are separated once more. Valeriana mentioned in the second temple that she is the last of a sacred order who dedicated their lives to the stones. I can only imagine she was well aware of Andrias' true intentions, and anticipated Anne only recharging the blue gem partially, leaving the door open for Andrias to fail. Why she would let Anne recharge the gems and hand them to Andrias at all is still a mystery, but perhaps it's all a part of the plan. She can't derail Destiny by informing Anne of what's going on, but she can still set her up for an astonishing victory. Nevertheless, Valeriana would likely put Sasha through a similar trial that Anne experienced before, confronting Sasha on her past, her values, and her morality, testing Sasha on what true strength really is, as opposed to what Sasha always viewed it as. I'm also curious on if Sasha will need to steal the Calamity Box from Andrias, or return to the third temple in order to reestablish her link with the pink gem, but considering the gem itself now retains its power, I'm thinking the connection could be forged from a remote location. As for how Sasha's form will differ from Anne's, I could see each girl having their own signature aura. Anne's being a lotus has me thinking they'll each be a flower as well. I think a gladiolus, aka a sword lily, would suit Sasha perfectly for obvious reasons. For starters, yes, the leaves are shaped like small swords, which already fits Sasha to a T. The gladiolus symbolizes strength, strong character, honor, and moral integrity, the latter of which I imagine will be the focus of Sasha's growth in Season 3. As for powers, I think we'll discover that each of the girls can master their own individual abilities that Anne didn't tap into during True Colors. I still suspect Sasha could have the power to influence others, given the hypnotic state of the pink-eyed toes in Reunion, and even the pink shockwave that emitted from her guitar in Battle of the Bands. Should this be the case, I think it'd be poetic if Sasha, as her arc comes to a close, masters the ability to not only influence others in a positive light, but strengthen them in a very literal sense, granting a huge boost in power to those around her. I also assume she'll be able to fly and whatnot just like Anne, but maybe they'll mix it up and give Super Sasha the ability to run at light speed or anything along those lines.
I got so caught up in proving I was smart enough to win, I couldn't see what I was about to lose.
Then there's Marcy, who is currently in the possession of King Andrias and the beast we refer to as the Knight. And there's some pretty horrifying implications in that alone. I suspect that Marcy's power could be used against her and her friends, should she not be in control of her body when the connection is reforged. I fully subscribe to the theory that Marcy will be possessed in Season 3 by this ominous entity that resides beneath Utopia Castle. So if the gems are bonded to the girls once more behind Andrias' back, the Knight will be the first to recognize it, setting up Sasha and Anne for a daring rescue mission where they have to combat a puppeted Marcy in her superpowered state. Whereas Anne and possibly Sasha had to endure Valeriana's trial that led to self-reflection, Marcy's evaluation may come in a roundabout way as she fights for control over her own body, a sequence that takes place within the mind, which would be fitting given the Green Gem's role of intelligence. Just imagine how emotional it'd be for Anne and Sasha to beg for their friend to hear them out, trying to stand their ground. Their pleas reaching Marcy, but Marcy's unable to snap out of it, dealing with quite the out-of-body experience. I fully expect assistance from Anne in order to save Marmar, given that Anne's gem plays the role of heart. So Anne very well may be equipped with a special ability to awaken Marcy through an exaggerated heart-to-heart that ultimately liberates her friend. When it comes to her aura, I could see Marcy adopting the aster or iris flower, with some reasonable foreshadowing to back that up. Asters symbolize love and wisdom, alongside being named after the Greek word for star. And Marcy's makeup in Battle of the Bands was that of twinkling stars. However, irises represent wisdom, hope, and trust. Trust sticks out to me, as of course Anne and Sasha's trust in Marcy was broken after learning of Marcy's true intentions with the Calamity Box while they were still on Earth. Their trust may have to be earned back, and trustworthiness has been a part of Marcy's character since her introduction.
Trustworthy.
So an iris shape for her aura would very much fit. Now with her powers, there's one thing in particular that I'm hoping to see, and that's an ability that would be beneficial for Marcy to have, and terrifying for the Knight to sport in the eyes of the audience. Staying with the theme of intelligence, I would guess that this ability would either be some form of mind reading or precognition. Imagine Marcy, or anything in control of her body, being able to maneuver and counterattack without breaking a sweat. I mean, hey, we already have Super Saiyan Blue, we might as well bring in Ultra Instinct. Or perhaps Marcy could be able to see a few seconds into the future, pulling off the same results with a different ability, kinda like Future Vision. Or again, maybe she'll be able to mind read, peeking into the thoughts of others when transformed. These more or less would all enable the same thing, and I think that kind of strategic ability would complement Marcy and her art quite nicely, lest we forget Flipboard. But as always, these are just my thoughts and I want to hear yours. What do you think? How do you think Sasha and Marcy can reclaim their Calamity powers? What special abilities do you think they could possess? Let us know in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts over at Roundtable Vids, and you can find me at Vox. Special thanks to JANKYBONES for creating an awesome thumbnail. For more of their amazing art, you can find them on Twitter and Instagram at BoneJanky, Tumblr at JANKYBONES, and subscribe to their YouTube channel. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please sure to like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. See ya!